So we've looked at how to communicate with an API using code. We've looked at how to communicate with an API using Postman. You might be feeling like, oh yeah, I'm a badass dev now. I can write any code. I don't need developers anymore. Star. All developers. I'm going to be building my application myself. And yes, I guess you are pushing that, but that's not the purpose of this class. The purpose of this class is for you to be able to interact with the developers, not to fire us, please. So the other day I was talking to my other friend and he saw me taking the course and he said, why are you teaching technology for product managers? They are stressing us enough, right? They are nasty deadlines, their requirements. Now you are giving them more secret. They will know where to bite us more, where to eat us more. And I said, no, the course is for them to be able to empathize with developers more, interact with developers better, know more about the works, better PRDs. But it was like, nah. We disagreed on that eventually. I think everyone should know how this works. Yeah, we've interacted with the API with code, we've interacted with it with Postman, but there are a lot of concepts that are still not yet really understood by us. I mean, I've not really taken them yet. I'm going to brush to them. For example, the different standards. When I open the different requests, there's the get, post, put, patch, delete, copy, add, options, link, blah, 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 blah. Let me try to use post instead to make these requests and see what works. Nothing works, right? So what does that mean? Posts, gets. I mean, some guys making up these things. No, they actually have meanings. This is what makes it REST API. These are the standards. So in a REST API, there is something called the method. I've talked about the URL. The URL is what you're calling, which is this jsonplaceholder.typecode.com/1 or your backend URL or whatever it is. So that's the URL, an important component of the REST API. Then there is the methods, right? And the method is just a fancy way to say methods, actually. There's no fancy, it's not really fancy, but the method is just the general method you'll be working with mostly are the get methods, the post methods, the put methods, and the delete methods, right? There are a lot of other methods you can deal with, as you can see here, but we're talking about the get, the post, the put, and the delete most of the time. The get method is used for making a request. Give me data, give me user details, give me user profile, give me your bank account details, give me money, I need money, give me money, I beg. So yeah, that's get method. The post method is, and they're not written in stone, they are standards. So your backend developer might have smoked something and decided to use a different method for a different request. But naturally, ideally, the developers are supposed to stick with these standards. So it's possible that you're making a post request to your backend, your friend is making a post request to your backend to fetch user details. It's very possible if the developer was but beyond that, these are supposed to work. So when you're interacting with third-party APIs, you are most likely going to be dealing with these standards. Those ones don't smoke with a lot. When you're doing an interview, you want to stick to the standard as much as possible. Explain to them that the standards are only just convention standard. They are not hard-coded anyway or written in stones. But then this is how you would advise it to be done. When you're writing a PID document, you want to declare the standards as clear as possible. So the get method, like I said, get user details, get a user profile, get account balance details, get. It doesn't get better than getting. The post method, add the user to the database, add money to an account. I'm sending something to the backend. Posts, add, post, right? Tell me something else I can use for post. Post a post on Facebook or TikTok. Posts. You get the gist. Posts. The put is for updates. Some other people use update instead, but the put generally is for updates. So update the user record. Update this user age. Update this user name. Update this user account details. Update something. Right? That's the put. And the delete. I mean, if I have to tell you what delete is, then we'll fight. Actually, we will not fight. I'll still tell you. Delete is for deleting a record in the backend. Delete this guy off here. I don't want him anymore. Delete his records. Delete. I don't know if people delete, but delete. So a quick summary. The get is for getting something. Get a request. Get user details. Get back account details. We are going to test it out more practically. We'll do a demo. You do a demo. You submit your assessment. I don't know if you write code yet. We'll talk about that, but the get is for getting records. The post is for sending records. Posts, sending record. Put assumes the record already exists, so you are updating the record. And delete is for deleting record. So those are the methods in REST APIs, the popular methods in REST APIs. By default, when you go to a website, the browser makes a GET request to the server to fetch the HTML document. You remember where is the internet again? If you've forgotten, go and watch it again, go and do the assessment again. But remember that module. When you go to google.com, the browser makes a GET request to actually fetch the documents from google.com, the HTML, the view you see, makes a GET request to fetch it. Right. That's the default. There are now other ones on top of. So yeah, that's all about the methods in REST APIs. In the next one, I'll be talking about something else in REST APIs. You'll hear about when I get there. See you.